Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Tuesday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the show. It's the 28th of October. It's a Tuesday. It is 2025. It is 11 a.m. UK time. How are you guys all doing? Hope you guys are all doing well. We're going to look at today's daily quota. We're going to look at the latest weather forecast. And we're going to have a look at the latest UK news that is happening here. Oh, I've still got the volume on in this one. I was wondering why why am I hearing myself? And I was like, oh, it's because the volume is still on my device. Apologies for that. Let me just quickly say hello to everyone in the chat. Motti Von Eric, good morning to you. Stephen Banker, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Scott Hayes, good morning to you. Peter, hope you are doing well. Good morning, Dave McGuinness. Great show as always. Thank you for coming. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Peter M, thank you for the £2 super chat. Freddo money. Yes, it is Freddo money indeed. It is one step towards the today's super chat goal. So thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And good morning, Ellie, there at the bottom there as well. Hope you are doing well. And anybody else who are lurking in the chats. Right, let's get started, you guys. Just a quick reminder, I'll be going live again later on today at 6 o'clock. Don't losing it all. So I don't lose my mind. How are we all? I'm definitely not feeling 100%. I've definitely got, I think I've got a slight cough. I'm going to have lunch after this, and then I'm going to go for a walk because the weather outside is really, really bright. It's really nice and sunny. Even if the temperature's not that great, it's still worth going out there, especially with the sunshine beaming. So definitely going to be going for a walk today. Didn't really go for too long of a walk yesterday, but let's start with today's daily quota. Here it is, guys, so you can see it for yourself. There we go. Just going to put it right in front of you there, so you know what it is. So I don't make these up, as you guys know. And this one is by Tony Ribbons here for the 28th of October. It says, the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. And this is true. And I could say a lot about things, as there's a lot of things that I want to do and try, and I haven't even started them, and unless I start them, I won't know. So this one hits quite hard to me more than anything there. So, but maybe it will make your day as well, guys. We'll see tomorrow's one tomorrow. Right, let's have a look at today's weather forecast, what we got here, guys. Let me just adjust wind there. We can make sure we've got the wind in as well. This is Tuesday today here. So it looks like here in Europe, this is at 6 o'clock today is what it's forecasting here. Portugal and Spain going to get a bit in the showers there from the down there on the coast. It's not like them to get rain, but there they are. Rome 16, Madrid 17, Lisbon 19, Istanbul 16 there. Budapest 10, Chistu 9, Kiev 7, Warsaw 7, Berlin 10, Prague 11, Bern 9, Paris 13, London 12, Manchester 10, Belfast and Edinburgh 9 and 8 respectively there. You can see just on the right there, St. Petersburg, a nice chilly 6 degrees, Oslo 5 there. And then Reykjavik up in Ireland, a chilly 0 degrees there, which is to be expected if you ever go there, guys. I do recommend going to Iceland one day if you haven't been already. Brussels there, 11 degrees as well. These are the temperatures what we're getting forecast today. So there'll be some scattered showers in the parts around Scotland, maybe a bit in northern England as well. Parts of Northern Ireland and Ireland itself as well, some scattered showers, but nothing too serious, I would say. Maybe a bit of wind here and there, but nothing that's going to be too bad there, guys. But if we go into the next day, see here. So there seems to be a bit of a storm brewing into Wales overnight there, into Wednesday there. And there's still some of those scattered showers still around Scotland there, which is going to be problematic there. Temperatures chilly at 7 degrees up in Edinburgh there. But Belfast and Dublin 8 and 9, Manchester 9, Cardiff and London not too bad at 11 degrees there. But moving into the next day there, we can see in there 6 o'clock in the morning there. You can see that rain still coming scattering all over England there. So so parts of England are going to get in that rain as well. So I am expecting 1 or 2 shower heads around London, but nothing too bad. It's a bit weird the way the wind is blowing that rain there. It's a bit weird from the looks of it up there. But moving it in as we go further into the day tomorrow, here in about 12 o'clock here, we can see the rain there. still bits of scattered showers around Scotland again, and again down in the south of England there. But if you're in the Midlands, you're probably going to avoid the rain there from the looks of it there. And it seems to be sticking around near London and the southeast of England there, around at around 3 o'clock there. Moving into the evening there, again still some scattered showers, but nothing too serious as you go into the evening there. You can see temperatures are starting to dipper there. In Wednesday night, it's going to be very chilly. Edinburgh 5, Belfast 5, Dublin 7, Manchester 8, Cardiff 8, London 9. So temperatures expecting to drop there. But as you can see this big storm out here that's going to be coming in. Yeah, guys, this is a storm that we talked about already. And you can see already just in this back on the left-hand side of the screen there, you can see it's slowly coming in. You won't feel it yet. But overnight into Thursday morning, Ireland will start to feel it. I mean, you can see very, very cold Thursday morning, guys. Please be aware it's going to be very, very cold Thursday morning. Going to be very chilly. Might even get some touch of frost, probably up in parts of Scotland, most likely as well, considering the temperature drop there. But yeah, going into the day there, you can see that Ireland and Northern Ireland are going to be experiencing the storm there of the big shower of storm there. They're Dublin and Belfast 10 degrees there, but they're going to hit that rain at around lunchtime. Bit more in the afternoon there, you can see that storm is going to come and hit parts of Scotland there later on in the day. So pretty much I would say about mid to late afternoon on Thursday is when this storm is going to hit. Doesn't look like it's going to hit England there from the looks of it, but Ireland's really going to feel that. We're going to really feel that, and Scotland's definitely going to be feeling that overnight there. So going overnight though, it's not going anywhere. But weirdly enough, you can see the temperatures here. It's what it's saying for Friday midnight here. You can see these temperatures are not too bad. It's as if the temperatures increased as thanks to the storm, which is a bit of a weird thing. Don't really have too much of an understanding of why, but there you go. Temperatures have increased here on Friday. So even though storm slowly starts breaking up a little bit, but there's some other showers that are going to be coming in on Friday, affecting parts of Ireland, parts of Wales, parts of England there. Scotland will still get a little bit, but temperatures are much, much warmer on Friday there. You can see 14, 15 degrees there, not too bad. 13, 14 degrees, 11 degrees there, which is not too bad as well. Moving into Saturday there. And moving into Saturday, we'll look at quickly before we move out. But then Saturday morning, a big storm going to be coming in overnight there. We can see coming in, it's going to hit parts of Wales, parts of England there. Not going to touch too much of Scotland, but until later on in the day from the looks of it there. But yeah, Saturday is going to be experiencing some weather, some rain and forecast there as well. But later on in the evening, some parts, yeah, you can avoid it there. But yeah, you got this big shower head as well on Saturday evening there. So just bear that in mind when planning for the weekend, guys. So yeah, there's going to be some showers. There's going to be some strong winds in parts, and we're also going to experience in Thursday, was it? Yeah, Wednesday night, guys. It's going to be very, very cold. So do be aware of that. Wednesday night, yeah, and even Thursday morning, as cold as 2 degrees up in Scotland there. So just bear that in mind. And take all necessary precautions that you need to take for that there. Just have a quick look in the chat. Personator, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Good morning to you. I don't think I'm sick, guys. I just got a slight cough, I think is what it is. But that's generally what I think it is. Right, we're going to start from back to front. We're going to start with the Tory graph, or shall we say the Reform graph here. They've got an advert that they just will not get rid of on the page there. But I can just scroll past it. So King Charles, poor King Charles, he got heckled over Prince Andrew during a cathedral visit. Well, Crimea River, old king, I'm sorry that you got heckled, but you know, such is life when when you and your family have so much money, and there's people who can't even feed their own kids, you know, for crying out loud. So, you know, I don't have much sympathy for the king. NHS same-day prostate cancer check hailed as a game changer. I think we touched on that a bit yesterday, but I think it's the same story pretty much we saw in another article. It was relating to a COVID-19 strain of one of those vaccine strains that could potentially help with cancer. Or it might be something different because they're talking about specifically prostate cancer there. So hopefully it does good. Mansion tax fears turning housing market into a stagnant swamp. Sounds a lot like scaremongering to me there about it. I'm still skeptical about the mansion tax because I just feel like don't get me wrong, I'm happy that they're looking to target the wealthiest in society there. But I kind of just wish there would be simpler ways. Asylum seekers play football match under Labour's council scheme. Is there a problem with that? Like, why is this a story? Just stop oil protesters walk free over Taylor Swift plane spray stunt. Okay. Prince Andrew will leave Royal Lodge if he can live live at Frogmore College. Can he just live on the street instead? Farage says Sarah Potter's remarks were ugly, but I understood the point. We touched on this, and we talked about this yesterday on the Viewpoint there. Yeah, he's just basically trying to play it down, the story there. Oh yeah, I know, the king heckled. I know, absolutely terrible, absolutely terrible. The king was heckled. Oh my god, off with that person's head, because that's definitely what they would do. 2 men arrested over Louise heist. Yes, so if you guys remember the story about the French heist. So apparently they've apprehended some suspects from the heist in Louise. So they may have caught the people responsible for it. Wasn't sure if they were going to catch them, but 2 men have been arrested in connection to it. So interesting there. Oh dear, the best is yet. Someone says Cameroon's president, 92 years old. That's right, guys. The Cameroon president. I told you, and I'm going to touch on. I swear to God, I've got to touch on this later on the Global News tonight at 6. Yes, the Cameroon president, who has been president for decades, donkeys, God knows. He's been president longer than I've probably been alive, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty fair to say. He's been president of Cameroon more than I've been alive. 92 years old. He hasn't been re-elected. There's been claims of election rigging, and I think it's been election rigging. But he's saying the best is yet to come at 92 years old, guys. Which means that his next presidential election won't be until 96, guys. Surely there's something wrong there. Sausage Dog Halloween Party cancelled by Killjoy Royal Parks. Look at this cute dog. What's wrong with this? Look at this cute dog. I love this. This is so cute. One thing I do love about Halloween, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I do love, especially in America, I love seeing the costumes. I love seeing the decorations. I do love seeing some of the games that I play. Yes, of course we do them here in parts of the UK, which is awesome as well. But I love seeing that stuff. I love seeing the fancy ideas, the fancy costumes, and that kind of stuff. I think it's really, really cool. Like the concepts and ideas that people have, I think it's really, really awesome. And this one is absolutely cute doggy. Jimmy Carr backs Graham Livingston trans street after arrest. Cyclist cuts through funeral to save 30 seconds on the journey. Why is that a story? Is it because what is he disturbing the dead? Okay, it depends. Like, okay, I guess I can understand some people complaining about that. I suppose it does sound a bit like woke nonsense a little bit there. But I guess if it was one of somebody that I knew that was in that in there that was constantly getting psychopaths, would I be bothered by it? Maybe. I wouldn't know. Let's have a look at what the Times are saying here. I can't open the Tory graph all the Times because they want you to pay to read their articles, which I'm not prepared to do, guys. So we just have to look at their headlines for now. OBR downgrade set to give Reeves another £7 billion to find, apparently. The Office of Budget Responsibility is thought to have told the Chancellor that it will cut its productive protections by about 0.3%. Yeah, telling the Chancellor she's got to find more money. This is really annoying. Just another excuse to impose more austerity, more cuts. Guys, we need the middle and low income earners to pay a bit more, guys. We need you guys to pay a bit more. City boundaries to be expanded in a crackdown on NIMBY councils. Farage says reform Russia in advert row is not generally racist. Okay, sure, buddy, sure. Labour at record poll low with the Greens behind. Just 1 point behind. Yeah, I saw the video. I haven't watched the full interview. I don't know if I'll get a chance to watch it today, but Zara Sultana did an interview where she was criticising the Greens, and it was a very weird criticism of the Greens. Yeah, the Zara Sultana from your party. I thought that was very odd of her. I was like, you know, like it sounds like I think I'm detecting a bit of jealousy because of how well the party are doing. Asylum seekers to be housed in barracks as PM seeks to close hotels. I'm sure we're going to look at that in a bit more in another web page where I don't have to go for a paywall there. 92 and the best is yet to come. FSX, his missus must be a happy woman. I don't even know if he's got a missus, if I'm honest. I don't know. But it's absolutely crazy. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been president longer than I've been alive, guys. And I'm 37, 36, 37. Can't remember how old I am. That's how terrible my brain is. I was born in 1988, so you guys can do the maths. Is that all from the Times? Is there anything on the front of the Times? The front of UK. Let's just have a look. UK sinks Ring of Steel alliance to protect against cheap metal imports. Under the proposals, members will coordinate tariffs imposed on countries outside the trading bloc to curb the imports, many of which are from China. Little for Lammy to laugh at asylum seeker screwball comedy. London to avoid the worst of Rayner's council funding raid. Labour will not water down employment rights bills, he says. Spending cuts and taxes rises both options for budget, Reeves has confirmed. And any other stories here? Romanian grooming gang jailed for raping and exploiting women. That's a Scottish story there. Can't open it up, guys, so I can't comment on it. Consider funding NHS through compulsory insurance, health chiefs are told. No. I'm just going to say, why through insurance? Any other interesting stories? Royal family? No, we're not interested in the royal family, guys. We are not interested in the royal family. Sorry, I just, you know, it's just not my thing. Fine 7 billion board, just fucking print it, Rachel. I know. It's not like we own our own currency. It's not like we can. It's not like we have printing machines to create the money. Yeah, I know there'll be a bit of inflation, but you know, it's like, yeah. Apparently, yeah, we've got to find another 7 billion. I mean, we could ask the billionaires to pay a bit more tax, you know. Just saying. UK stopped disclosing identity of stock market short sellers here. This is from the Financial Times. Reeves faced £20 billion hit to UK public finance from productivity downgrade. Better than expected reduction in OBR forecast dealt a blow to the Chancellor ahead of her budget. Tom Hayes sues former employer UBS for £400 million. Trader claims bank wrongly cast him as an evil mastermind behind Labour's rate rigging. Ooh. Ministers persist a pressure to due diligence core UK workers' rights reform. Government rejects speculations it will water down one-day protections under unfair dismissal. Starmer's visit to Turkey overshadowed by espionage row. Istanbul's mayor is charged with indirectly spying for British intelligence as UK Prime Minister arrives to sign £8 billion arms deal. What? The mayor of Istanbul is charged with indirectly spying for the British intelligence on around the same time as as Keir Starmer arrives in Turkey. Oh, that timing is very interesting. And then the UK seeks steel alliance with US and EU to tackle Chinese oversupply. Britain's trade minister said a curb would be a natural response to global glut of metal. I actually think this is a good idea from the EU, US, and UK to kind of work together to protect the steel industry from the cheaper steel that China is producing. I think that makes logical sense if you want to try and protect those industries. Yeah, we don't have a lot. We don't have as much as we used to here in the UK, but yeah, we do need to try and protect them. A permanent Zone 5 status with long-awaited HS2. Civil leaders and investors believe rail link is a key to reconnaissance of UK's second largest city. Interesting. That's just an opinion piece there, guys. Homepage of the FT. $100 billion stock swing exposes fragility behind a Wall Street rally. Amazon to cut 14,000 corporate jobs. Way, Amazon cutting more jobs, guys. More work for the AI. More for the AI, guys. Reeves faced £20 billion hit. Yep, we've seen that. Curling and Ellis train lawyers on communication style after investor tensions. Mendy's moments, election triumph, hands liberalisation, shot of reform. I'm going to talk about this more on the global news. I think it's very fascinating, you know, what's happening in Argentina. I really do find it very fascinating where Argentina, you know, they're still sticking to him. They're still sticking to him despite everything that's happening. It's major changes to their economy. US government and West House strike, £80 billion nuclear deal. UK military sites to house asylum seekers. We'll touch on that in a bit. Apple tops £100 billion in service revenue, easing as legal risks grow. BT explores new mobile brand to take on budget rivals. HPS warns of wider risks from private credit blow-ups as well there. Any other stories there? No, we'll leave the other stories now. Some interesting headlines there from the FT there. Right, might be able to look at some stories here from the iPaper. Depends. Brexit reset won't save the UK from looming EU steel tariffs. EU insiders warn the UK steel industry will not get a full carve-out from tariffs taking effect next year, but could have a partial exemption. This is where the UK needs to sit and negotiate with them here. Look, nope. I kind of just waited before saying anything just to see if they're going to put a paywall in front of me, and they did, guys. The amount of solutions Richard Murphy has provided how to raise that capital without even sniffing at the disabled, it boils one's mind. Yeah, Richard Murphy. I found Richard Murphy. You know, I wish I could give him more time for his channel, and I do recommend checking out. You know, he's got a very popular blog as well. I do recommend checking out his chat with Zach Polanski as well. I thought that was quite fascinating one. That was definitely really fascinating there, because there was, like, he doesn't agree with the kind of wealth tax that the Green Party are implementing, want to implement. He was pointing out other ways that they could raise tax, which is quite fascinating. I do highly recommend checking out that interview, guys. PIP reforms will trigger change to mobility car scheme access. Bigger tax hikes and spending cuts on the way. Yep. Home Office could house migrants in portable bins in a bid to close asylum hotels. What is portable bins, guys? Oh, feck off, iPaper. Come on. You're going to do this to every single article I open. Starmer warns of leadership challenge as budget anxiety grows. Yep. I wouldn't blame him for the anxiety. Bosses could still sack new hires under one-day workers' right compromise there. And asylum hotels are still costing the UK billions. Here's why. An explainer for them there as well. Let's see the front of the iPaper here. The military barracks set to house 900 asylum seekers, an exclusive for them. Crowborough's training camp in East Sussex has been earmarked as a site to hold small boat migrants within the next few weeks. Well, this is what people were suggesting instead of hotels, put them in military barracks. MP furious about plans to house asylum seekers in local barracks. An MP has said, "Is it because it's in his or her constituent?" I'm going to assume. Actress Prunella Scales, who played Sybil in 40 Towers, dies at the age of 93. Rest in peace. Prince Andrew, not interested. PIP reforms will trigger change to mobility car scheme access. We've read those stories already. NHS under pressure to expand COVID jab rollout after hidden benefits reveal. Yep, we talked about that yesterday. I begged NHS staff not to discharge my brother. He was found dead at home. An exclusive. What a terrible story. Absolute terrible story. And there's some world news there. Catastrophic impact warning as Jamaica braces for the world's strongest storm. Yeah, people have already died from it, from what I've heard already. From it, the storm was absolutely really bad. From my understanding, definitely we'll look at that later, guys. We'll definitely look at that later. Wow, we've gone through these a lot faster than I expected. Yeah, we haven't even got to past yet. Yeah, see, I'm going just as fast as Dave McGuinness was with his show. And we've got till 12 o'clock here, guys. Alison Kerr, good to see you there. Pete's Music or Wales. If there's anyone else I haven't said hello to. Indie Duck, good to see you there as well. If there's anyone I didn't miss, hopefully I didn't. Porta cabins, says Alison Kerr. Yeah, I was thinking of something else, but okay. Thanks, Alice. Right, independent here. Theresa May slaps down Jenrick for turning judges into villains. Okay. Not really much. Is that even worth reading into? I suppose. I suppose we'll have a read. Former PM also warned the Tories must stop chasing the Reform Party. That's true. She delivered a thinly veiled rebuke for Robert Jenrick after he launched an attack on British judges earlier this month. In a wide range of critique on the direction of the party, the former Conservative Prime Minister warned against using populism for a short-term political end. She challenged the Tories' approach to net zero, the judiciary and human rights, urging the party to show leadership instead. Yep, that's something that's gone from them. And she appeared to take aim at Conservative Shadow Justice Secretary Mr. Jenrick, who criticised what she calls activist judges in immigration courts in a speech to the Tory conference earlier this month. Although Baroness May did not name Mr. Jenrick, she told a Lords debate that judges have too often come under attack from those peddling populist narratives. Politicians should not question the integrity of our judges or accuse them of political bias, she said, but added, by undermining the judiciary, we further erode public trust in the institutions of our democracy and therefore in democracy itself. So I say to those seeking to villainize a judiciary that cannot easily answer back, who willfully discredit our legal system for their own expenditures, it's time to show responsible leadership. Comes less than a month after the Shadow Justice Secretary told the Conservative Party conference that activist justice with links to pro-migration charities had undermined public trust in the court. This is absolute nonsense. There's no evidence to support this whatsoever. Holding a judge's wig as a prompt, he said a future Tory government would take action against judges who blurred the line between adjudication and activism. And again, this is all bollocks. This is the judges are simply following the law. This is Robert Jenrick trying to undermine the very systems that we have in place, guys. While Baroness May said that she knew it was frustrating to come up against the courts as a minister and has seen examples of judicial overreach, she warned her party to tread carefully. She said, "This is not just about short-term decisions to make it easier to deal with public concerns about immigration. Our support for human rights and its origins to Marakada, how we deal with issues of human rights is fundamental to our ability to deal with autocrats and dictatorships. Every step we take to reduce our support for human rights merely emboldens our rivals and weakens our position in the world." Baroness May, whose government committed the UK to reaching net zero by 2050, also said she had been disappointed by the Conservatives' pledge to repeal the Climate Change Act. She said it was an extreme and unnecessary measure and warned it would fatally undermine Britain's global leadership on climate issues, as well as investment and jobs generated by the transition to net zero. Quote, "This announcement only reinforces climate policy as a divine line of politics rather than being the unified issue it once was. And for the Conservative Party, risks chasing votes from reform at the expense of a wider electorate. Last month, Baroness May warned that scrapping the Climate Change Act would be a catastrophic mistake. She dubbed the plans a retrograde step that ended 17 years of consensus on the issue of climate change that has been between mainstream political parties and the scientific community." Yeah, pretty shambolic as well. Yeah, the party has changed a lot since she was Prime Minister. Right, let's have a look at this barracks then. The Home Office said about 900 men will be housed across 2 sites as the government tries to get a grip on the asylum accommodation crisis. So, hundreds of asylum seekers are set to be moved into military barracks. Oh, I know what that is. My apologies, guys. I need to open the door. Just give me 2 minutes. I will be back in just a moment. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be a couple of minutes, so I do apologise. Right, so cut a long story short as to what was going on, guys. Basically, we're having a new front door put in, and it was booked to happen to this morning, and someone was meant to be here, and they couldn't be here. Someone was meant to be here downstairs, basically, and because they couldn't be here, basically I had to be there. He was only a couple of minutes, but I had to be down there. So apologies, and yeah, I've lost chat, unfortunately, guys. I've lost some members of chat, so yeah, which is very annoying. Shut the front door. No, I had to let the guy do the measurements for the door. It wasn't up to me, so I do apologise, guys. Right, shall we start this? Shall we start this bit again? So, asylum seekers are to be moved into the military barracks in a bid to end migrant hotels. So, the Home Office said around 900 men would be housed across the two sites as the government tried to get a grip on the asylum accommodation crisis. We know that the Home Office is absolutely not fit for purpose right now. It's just not working right now. It really is. You know, the report that came out. I mean, we didn't need the report to tell us that the Home Office has been a shambolic failure, but I also think that previous Home Secretaries that have been running it under the Conservatives have kind of ran it to the ground as well. And us leaving the European Union has also played a part in all of this as well. Counting all the ethnic minorities in the advert so far, 0. Yeah, I wonder where you got that idea from. So the increase in migration obviously has led to the Home Office having to step up, and they get a huge amount of funding, but how much of that funding is actually going towards making people's lives better is a good question as well. Excuse me. So hundreds of asylum seekers are set to be moved into a military barracks as ministers scramble to find a way to end the use of hotels to house migrants. The Home Office has confirmed the Crowsbury training camp in East Sussex and Cameron Barracks in Inverness will be used temporarily to house a total of around 900 men under the plan. Small boat migrants will start being housed in the accommodation by the end of next month. Officials are also working with the Ministry of Defence to identify other disused sites that can be used in the coming months in a bid to get a grip on the asylum accommodation crisis. There are also plans to build pop-up modular units which have previously been used to tackle prison overcrowding on some of the sites. The plans come as Labour ramps up its bid to move tens of thousands of migrants out of hotels after hugely controversial surrounding their use. And on Monday, a parliamentary committee described the policy of using hotels as to house asylum seekers as failed, chaotic, and expensive, and accused the Home Office of squandering billions of pounds as a result of incompetence. Yeah, definitely incompetence. Russell Cannon, good to see you there. I hope you're doing well. But the committee also said the use of military sites is likely to cost more than using hotels, and that it would present safety issues and legal risk. Any plan will also likely to face significant local opposition. Home Office spokesperson said, "We are furious at the level of illegal migrants and at asylum hotels." Yeah, I'm sure you are. This government will close every asylum hotel. We will work is well underway with more suitable sites being brought forward to ease pressure on communities and cut asylum costs. So Labour has pledged to end the use of hotels by 2029, but the Prime Minister has reportedly told ministers in private that he wants to end the practice within a year, Sir Keir Starmer has said. And he's frustrated and angry about the mess inherited by Labour in respect to the asylum system. Defence Minister Luke Pollard told Sky News on Tuesday that ministers want to go faster in closing the hotels and that the Ministry of Defence is stepping up. He explained, "We're looking at the sites that we have available where we could house asylum seekers, allowing the Home Office to close more asylum hotels faster. It's right that we step up and support our Home Office colleagues in this respect because I don't think anyone wants to see asylum hotels open." Both of the military sites were used to accommodate Afghan families evacuated during the withdrawal of Kabul in 2021. Those families were resettled elsewhere, and that process was completed earlier this year. It is reported that the Scottish site will house around 300 people, while the site in Sussex will hold around 600 people. On Monday, Housing Secretary Steve Wee said the government was looking at a modular buildings to ensure that the new sites can be ready in a short time frame as part of a plan to end the use of hotels entirely. Pop-up cabins are already being used to expand capacity at former military base RAF Wexfield in Essex, which is currently the Home Office's largest housing asylum seekers. Plans have been floated to install cabins at RAF Scaffold in Lincolnshire, but this idea was scrapped when Labour came to power. Building company Porter Bin has also said it is open to doing a deal with the Home Office to provide emergency prefabricated accommodation for asylum seekers. As of June this year, around 32,000 asylum seekers were being housed in hotels, down from a peak of more than 56,000 in 2023, but 2,500 more than at the same point last year. The expected cost of the Home Office accommodation contracts for 2019-2029 has tripled from 4.5 billion to 15.3 billion, following from what the Commons Affairs Committee called a dramatic increase in demand, which we looked at that numbers there as well yesterday, which was quite brutal, to be fair. How much will be spent on administration? That's a good point as well, Stephen Banker. All that admin costs as well. So these people who own these hotels, what are they going to do with empty buildings? Well, they can stop saying about their precious hotels filling with migrants now. Now they can go and spend their money at the hotels themselves. Starmer signs £8 billion Typhoon fighter jet deal with Turkey. Refusal to dub China threat was roadblocked to the spying case, says the barrister there. Mansion tax wouldn't fill black hole, economist warn Reeves. No, but it's a step in the right direction. And we've seen that already. Labour slumps to record low polls while Reform and Greens surge. New figures for YouGov for the Times found that 70% of voters back Labour. It's commissioned by the Times, so take it with a pinch of salt. The Greens set at 16%, its highest level of support, closely followed by the Lib Dems on 15%. 17% of voters back Labour, Reform and 27%, it says. Labour faced a threat from the left and the right. Tuesday figures represent the lowest rating that Labour have recorded in YouGov figures and show support for the Greens is surging among younger voters. The data suggests that 40% of people aged 18 to 24 currently intend to vote for Zach Polanski's party, with Labour lagging in second at 21% and Lib Dems on 13% there. Among the over 65s, Reform are in the lead. Because that's where they're getting their it. And then obviously because of the local, and they're talking about the local elections there. Yes, the hotels were repurposed because they were unsuccessful as hotels, may as well be really developed as normal homes. Might as well just redevelop them into houses. Might as well if they've got no other use. Sex offender prison is the second person to be freed mistake bomb prison. Wait, what? The same prison responsible for repeatedly releasing a migrant sex worker last week was also conned into freeing a fraudster 2 years ago. An email disguise is that it might be the same one that David Lammy said on the video. At the time, Ahmed was awaiting sentence after he admitted to posing as a doctor in order to rent a property he could not afford to buy a home worth $1 million. Ahmed was released from custody for later that day following email instructions. It was only when the staff received more emails from the same day and a day later, ordering 2 other inmates to be freed, that they realised the emails were fake. One of the emails named Charlotte Whistle was also released during the chaos. A member of prison staff became suspicious of these orders after further checks were conducted. The Royal Court just verified that no release orders were made and that the 2 men, now Ahmed, was incorrectly released. Police said the email appeared to be authentic because it contained a number of identity marks, which led to the staff being easily deceived. Identity marks. On 23rd June, Essex police rearrested Ahmed, who was out life and lost. I don't think it's enough anymore to just literally go by emails. They should. I think every single person, there should be a phone call. There should be a phone call, not just an email, but a phone call to verify that this person should be released. I think you need to have a phone conversation with people rather than just going by an email. I know it's easier, but yeah, something needs to be done there. Rachel Reeves, black hole. Reeves sent huge ISA cut warning over 2.5 billion treasury lost there. King Charles heckled. Poor King Charles. Cry me a goddamn river. Yeah, it's they started off well, and then all of a sudden got completely sidetracked. So I do apologise, guys. See what the BBC are saying here. Reeves and a £20 billion hole. Key figures at odds over collapse of China spy case. Key figures involved in the failed criminal case against the two men accused of spying for China were given conflicting accounts to a parliamentary committee about why the case collapsed. In September, prosecutors dropped charges against Christopher Cash and Christopher Berry, who had been charged under the Official Secret Act. Both men denied any wrongdoing. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Stephen Parkinson, said the case could not progress because the government's Deputy National Security Advisor, Matt Collins, was unwilling to classify China as an active threat to national security. However, Mr. Collins told the committee he had been given legal advice that his evidence would be enough. He said he always knew the case would be a challenge, but that he had been trying to ensure that we could support a successful prosecution. Mr. Collins, who was set to be the government's witness in the trial, added, and so I was somewhat surprised when I was told on the 1st September that the intention was to drop the case. In contrast, Tom Little Casey, who would have been the lead prosecutor barrister in the case, said he would be surprised if Mr. Collins had not realised the prosecution would collapse unless he is offered further evidence. Earlier in the session, Mr. Little said he had said Mr. Collins had been clear that he would not say that China posed an active threat to national security at the material time. That was in answer to what I regard as a $1 million question in the case. And once he had said the current prosecution for those charges was effectively unsustainable, he added. He said he brought the case into a crashing halt when Mr. Collins outlined the limits of what he would be willing to say in court. Asked by a National Security Strategy Committee about the evidence he provided, prosecutors, Mr. Collins said, "What I was able to say is that China poses a range of threats to our national security. I was able to say that these include espionage threats, cyber threats, threats to our democratic institutions, threats to our economic security. I would be able to say that these threats are very real and persistent." He added he believed CPS was asking him to use the generic term that China is a threat or China is an active threat, which is not in line with the government's policy at the time. Members of the committee have pressed Ms. Parkinson and Ms. Little on why they felt Mr. Collins did not provide enough evidence that China could be considered a threat. Well, they just take place in December 2023. Christopher Cash Berry arrested under the Official Secret Act. 22nd, they are charged with Espionage Act and Official Secret Act. Keir Starmer becomes Prime Minister. 16th of July, Court of Appeal rules that an enemy under the Official Secret Act, which contrary to representative in relation to this case about Bulgarian spying for Russia. Cash Berry plead not guilty at the Old Bailey, and then prosecutors drop the charge. Dame Ellen Thornbury asked why prosecutors could not have trusted a jury to conclude China could be deemed a threat. Mr. Parkinson argued that without key evidence from Mr. Collins, a judge would not have to let the case go to trial. It's very, very frustrating. All these stories we've kind of seen already. Anything on the front of UK that the BBC might have that we haven't seen? Turning AI Institute bosses denies accusations of toxic internal culture. Headlights to be reviewed after drivers complain of being blinded at night. Well, you know that I'm not a driver myself. I'm not a driver myself, but here's the thing: like, it's supposed to be common courtesy, like that when you have the headlights on at full blast, yeah, and driving in where there's no street lights and whatnot, you dim it down when there's somebody coming across the opposite way because you don't want to blind them. So criticism from drivers over the dazzle of ongoing headlights has prompted the government to take a closer look at designs of cars and headlights on UK roads. So drivers say LED headlamps, which are increasingly common in new vehicles, are causing them problems and making it harder to drive at night. Researchers into the issue on behalf of the Department of Transport has still not been published, but the BBC has learned that the government now plans to launch a new assessment of the cause and remedies. New strategies will be included in the government's upcoming road safety strategy, reflecting what is to become an increasingly fraught issue for road users. Both Rube Goldsberry and Sally Buff said bright headlines make it harder for them to get to their weekly SO Sound Cause meeting in Tolton in Hampshire. Some of the lights are so bright that you are blinded by them for seconds, said Ruth. The beam from LED lights is a whiter, more focused, and brighter than more diffused lights from the hand and lamps fitted for older cars. I'm not sure where to look. I look into the gutter, says Sally. They are both relieved if someone else offers to drive. Evening drivers are becoming a bigger becomes a bigger problem as the winter draws in, and especially as the clocks change, which means more people are driving in the dark. Yeah. Problem is worse for older people whose eyes take around 9 seconds to recover from glare, compared to 1 second for a 16-year-old, according to road safety consultant Rob Hurd. In severe cases, we might need to stop until our sight can recuperate, he said. A survey from the RSC monitoring organisation found that more than a third of drivers were nervous about getting behind the wheel as the evenings get darker. 3/4 of respondents said the driving was getting more difficult due to brighter lights. My mum doesn't like driving at night. She tries to avoid it at all times. My dad can still do it. Even though he has to wear glasses though. But my mum was really, really uncomfortable driving at night. Although she can do it, but she's not comfortable doing it. And I can get that. Not good when you're light sensitive, says Stephen Banker. The latest headlights are a problem at the wrong type of light, says Dave McGuinness. The RFS Senior Policy Officer Rod Dennis said that so far little progress has been made on tackling glare, with regulations governing headlights dating back to 1989. We know headlights glares is frustrating for many drivers, especially as the evenings get darker. So what to do in the face of bright headlamps? Ensure your widescreen is clean. Wear glasses and keep them clean. Avoid looking straight ahead. Instead, focus on the edge of the road. Do not wear night sunglasses sold for night driving, as they reduce overall light and reduce the glare. This is from the College of Optometrics there, as some suggestions there to help, guys. The results of last winter's government's commission research into the cause and impact of glare are now expected in the next few weeks, the DFT said. They will inform the upcoming road safety strategy, which is also expected to tighten rules on drink driving and eyesight tests for older drivers. The BBC understands the government is commissioning new research into the role of vehicle designs and causing glare and possible solutions, which will feed into international discussions of the issue. One already well understood of the glare is drivers retrofitting their vehicles, replacing old halogen bulbs with LEDs. The housing for halogen bulbs is not compatible with LED bulbs, and a retrofitted car will not pass its annual MOD checkup. As part of the government's new approach, the Driver and Standard Vehicle Standards Agency has stepped up surveillance to stop its sale of illegal retrofit headlamps bulbs, the DFT has said. Cars sold with LED lights can improve road safety by helping drivers to see better. Thomas Bromberg, Senior Advisor for the Safety at Volvo, had told the BBC. However, avoiding dazzle was equally important, he said. I would say poorer aiming at the headlights and also the road shapes are the two major factors for the glare, he said. For larger vehicles such as SUVs, where lights are higher off the ground, the beam must point more sharply downwards to protect oncoming drivers, but the angle can be affected how many passengers it is carrying. Some new cars with adaptive features adjust the lamps automatically if there is a change in load, but cars without that will need manual adjusting, Mr. Bromberg has said. Some new cars have automatic headlamp digging, which lowers the lights when an oncoming vehicle is detected. However, Daniel Harmon McCarthy, clinical advisor at the College of Optometrics, said automatic dimming features can be slow to kick in. Dazzling headlights are cited as a factor of around 250 accidents a year, but there is no evidence that brighter lights are causing more collisions than previously, the RNC concedes. Instead, worried drivers might simply be taking the risk off the road by not driving at night, with a big social impact, the RSC, Mr. Dennis, had warned. He would like to see action that strikes a balance. We don't want to go back to worse headlights. It's about what is bright enough. Yeah, I think that's a good answer. What is bright enough with it? The new LED lights are too harsh, even worse for the projection lamps. Yeah, so they need to change it. They need to dim it. I think yeah, they need to have bright lights, but not too bright that they causes the glare there. But there's some stuff there that I think this was definitely worth reading. Halfords have stopped selling LED upgrade bulbs in my local store. Good morning, Martin. Hope you are doing well there. Totally do. The new type headlights could be quite blinding. Yeah, I was just going to say what Reganelite was just saying about the night driving. Yeah. Yes, this is definitely interesting. You know, and I'm not a driver, so you guys will. So a lot of you guys who are drivers in the chat will understand this far a lot better than I have. But I do recall, obviously, from my perspective of when whether it's been my brothers or my dad or whoever, and you know, when you're driving in a dark road or whatever, and you got the full beams on, and you got to just turn it down before another car comes opposite the way, because obviously you don't want to blind them. But but there's still some drivers you have to automatically do it. But there's still some drivers who don't do that as well. Very fascinating indeed. Tutoring AI Institute boss denies accusation of toxic internal culture. Why one small town with very little immigration turned to reform UK? Why did they turn to reform UK? Don't think I'm going to give time. I'm not going to give it time to read just because we've got 8 minutes. I do want to have a look at the other stories. Interesting. My wife died at childbirth, but wasn't told she'd be given labour overdose. Southport killer's dad warned he may attack teachers. The typhoon deal. Any other stories here from them? Social housing cuts will not mean fewer homes. Northern Ireland's chief has said there. The sports there as well. So got about 7 minutes to go, guys. If anyone wants to help contribute towards the Super Chat goal, be greatly appreciated as well. Minimum £2 if you can. But I can understand, yeah, considering I left the chair. I can understand why people left as well. So if you guys want to support, please do. Let's have a look at Sky News, see what they're saying. They don't really have a lot, Sky News, but we'll have a look at them anyway. This is pretty much all the stories we already looked at. Human error. Well, they got the front of UK. Exclusive rat, flies and maggots. A community plagued by 25,000 tonnes of illegal waste. What? Sky News investigates the blame game surrounding the illegal dump in Wigan. Symbolic of the scourge of waste of crime across the country. Is this worth watching? You're going to hit me with an advert, aren't you?
I've been assaulted by that gentleman down there.
25,000 tonnes of rubbish has been illegally dumped at the end of this road in Wigan. Residents' homes now plagued with the stench, as well as rats and flies. Some people were even hospitalised after the dump burnt for 9 days over the summer. Sky News has been investigating the scourge of waste crime and how the authorities are struggling to deal with it. Unaware of the illegal activity at the dump site, Neil rented out 3 diggers worth hundreds of thousands of pounds there last winter. But when he and his daughter went to retrieve their vehicles, they claim a group of men on the land assaulted and threatened them.
We want you to give us £100,000 and we'll allow you to take your diggers back, or we can cut your throat.
The police refused to help.
I'm reporting to you now that I've been assaulted by that gentleman down there.
And he's saying you broke his gate.
These machines are stolen.
Legally,
right?
They are not.
Yes, they are.
No, they aren't. We're going to go. If we come back and get another call out and you have not left as I've advised you to do, one of you is probably going to get locked up.
And days later, the machines had been smashed up and destroyed.
Well, angry really. My main concern, I just wanted us to get his machines back. But the fact that a man can spit in a woman's face and get away with it, and the police are not interested, well, it is maddening.
How bad's it been?
Absolutely soul destroying. It's caused us so much grief, damage to business. Just absolutely brought us to his knees.
Financially, what's been the damage?
Probably upwards of 250, 300,000.
And when it comes to the way the authorities deal with waste crime, illegal dump sites, what have you learnt?
They're not bothered.
A police spokesperson said, "We can confirm there is an ongoing complaint, and as part of this complaint, our Professional Standards Directorate are assessing all elements of the investigation, including all crimes and reviewing body-worn footage. This process will take time to go through. However, the complainant will be kept up to date with the process."
I think the police should pay for their damage. The police should pay. The police should pay out of their... I'm sorry, but the police should pay out of their own fucking pocket for this. Because they could have avoided this. They could have gone down there, got those diggers back at least. Instead, they refuse to do. They refuse to listen to the victims here. They refuse to listen to the victims, and the victims have lost out hundreds of thousands of pounds. Over £100,000. What is it? 100 to 300,000 pounds. The police should that police force in that area. They should pay for that. They should pay out of pocket for that, because they deliberately and intentionally did not look at that issue. That's absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Thank you, Ollie, for Ollie. Thank you, Stephen Banker, for the £2 super chat. I'll get to Ollie at the end of the show, but thank you for that. Yeah, illegal dumping. Like, obviously, the same is not where. Obviously, this is on a massive scale compared to what happens around the corner from where I live. But at least it gets cleaned up around the corner in the alleyway where we have. But the sheer size of all this dumping and the fact that their lives were threatened. I can't show the screen, but their lives were being threatened as well. It's just absolutely outrageous. And the police responses are taken out as a complaint. Well, I'm glad Sky News did this because it made the police look like a bunch of idiots. And I'm glad that they recorded the police officers saying what they said as well, because again, it makes the police looking really incompetent there. If the police pay for it, it just comes out of taxpayers' pockets. Well, someone's got to pay for it, unfortunately. No, it should come out of the police's budget, which obviously in the entail does come out of our pocket. Yeah, I'm afraid, unfortunately, that is the case. But it's not right that they've lost their money. But this could have been avoided. This could have been avoided if they had. This could have been avoided if the police had just did their job. You have to listen to people's complaints. This is absolutely disgusting from the police here. Absolutely terrible. I'm glad we saw that video, because that was important. And they've got about 2 minutes left, so we'll have a quick look at The Guardian and see what they're saying there. Thank you for that £2 super chat, Stephen Banker. Oh, thank you, Dave McGinnis, for the £10 super chat. Have a coffee on me. I will do, my friend. Thank you. Well, I'll probably have a hot chocolate because I'm not a coffee person, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's gonna be a fancy coffee. Nah, I'm not so much of fancy coffees or fancy hot chocolates. But thank you for that, David. I really appreciate your support. Yeah, if you're not a subscriber to Dave McGinnis' YouTube channel, please do, guys. Do check out his content, the content of the two Davies. And I'm looking forward to have you on next month as well for the round table. Steeper UK productivity of more than 20 billion makes tax rises more likely. 3 more councillors have been expelled over the party's dishonest behaviour. Oh, 3 more? Is that on top of the ones that are already? This was 4 minutes ago. So 3 more. 3 more councillors expelled from the party over dishonest behaviour. Oi! So we covered 4 of them so another 3 as well. 3 more members of Reform's flagship council have been expelled for dishonest decisive behaviour for a leaked video. And the request of the leader Kent Council following the meeting. This has just literally happened. So they've expelled 3 more councillors just now, guys. All schools in England with removal grants are to be rack-free by 2029, says Phillipson. There you go. You've heard it there. Yeah. Rack is going to be... All schools in England are going to be rack-free by 2029, guys. That's what they've said, yeah? Make a note of this. Make a note of this. Are they going to be rack-free by 2029? Answers on the postcard, please. Expert said Edinburgh bans 1.1 billion for new offshore wind project is not enough. There. I know we hit 12 o'clock. We'll just have a look at the headlines, see what they say before we go out, guys. Yep, that's the big story. Just saw that now. Jeremy Corbyn to appear in North London Panto. Okay. HSBC warned it could take years to settle Madoff case as bank takes 1.1 billion hit. Black women with a fibre rolls face delay in poor care to the UK, says a report. World's climate plans fall drastically short of action needed, analysis shows. Yes, Graham Hughes covered that on his show this morning. We will touch on that on Global News as well. HMRC said cuts child benefit for 23,500 families based on incomplete travel data. Ouch. UK tax agency apologises after flagging people as having immigrated when often they return via different routes. 23,500 families. Frustrating. Frustrating indeed. Guys, we've gone overtime. I just want to say thank you to those who gave super chats today. Really appreciate it. Stephen Banker, Dave McGuinness, and who was and someone at the start of the show, Peter there. Yeah, we go, Peter there, also with super chat. Thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate it, guys. I will be back in 12 hours time. 12 hours? No, 6 hours time. That'd be midnight. That'd be very... I would not be live streaming at midnight. Sorry, guys. I'll be back at 6 p.m. tonight with Global News. We'll be looking at news from outside the UK. We'll touch on we'll definitely touch on the climate change report. Definitely need to talk about that there as well. We might touch on it a bit more next month when we do the Eco Flake show, myself and One Angry Pagan as well, and touch on that as well. Just a quick reminder as well, I've got a live stream. I'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. for another Good Morning show as well as the Reganelite's Watch Along at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening as well. And I'm bringing back the Conflict live stream this Thursday, guys, at 8 o'clock. So if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff tomorrow on Thursday at 8 o'clock, do join me for that as well. And finally, Rumble and Patreon. I've done recorded content every day at 12 o'clock, Monday to Friday on Rumble and Patreon. Exclusive. It's free to watch. You don't need to pay to watch them. It's free to watch those, to see those content, guys. Links for Patreon and Rumble are down in the description below. So you can check out those videos there as well. And I'll share my thoughts on stuff from the Middle East and stuff from the USA, respectively, as well. So enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you guys are doing. But on your way out, if you can, hit the like button, share this across social media, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and do check out the rest of the content. And if you want to financially support me in the work that I do here, consider becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.